Emails are not private, and that appears to be the case in a recent email that the San Jose Chief of Police sent out to his command staff.
On the KGO Live line now is the president of the San Jose Police Officers Association, Jim Unland. Jim, thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit what was in this email.
Well, Jennifer, John, thanks for having me. This all started over a Measure V arbitration process where the city offered us a 0% raise. And that's what we have right now. We're in further talks with the city trying to get some money, as we have over 100 officers are leaving the department every year. And so these talks have kind of stalled out. The city sent a letter to the officer's home with some misleading and disingenuous information about their offer. And that prompted us to let the officers kind of vent back to City Hall and saying, don't send this type of stuff to my home. And from that, then the city, the acting chief, Larry Esquivel, sent an email out to his command staff kind of expressing some disappointment and telling them that any commander that sent this email to City Hall, again, it's kind of a free speech issue, needed to visit him at his office, or else he would have to seek them out. So there was a bit of intimidation, I think, within the contents of that letter, just through the tone.
Now, what is this doing to the negotiations? I mean, I know this is recent, but is it getting things even worse?
We're still waiting for some answers from the city. They sent us an answer to our latest proposal. The city has been mischaracterizing their offer to us as a 9% raise. In fact, a Mercury News story about a week ago started off with city officials said they gave the police a 9% offer. It's not a 9% raise. It's 2% for the rest of this year. 2.5% for the rest of this year. 2.5% next year, and a 4% one-time retention bonus in the summer of 2015. So we countered with an actual 9% raise offer, and we're still waiting for some clarification answers from the city. We'll continue to try to reach out to them and try to do something about getting more money in the officers' pockets. Like I said, with over 100 officers leaving, and at best we're hiring about 80 officers to replace them. Anyone can do the math. We're going in the wrong direction. And City Hall just doesn't seem to grasp that we're in a real crisis right now.
Well, we'll be talking to the mayor in the bottom of the hour here. Anything you want us to ask him?
Yeah, I am unable to find out who wrote the letter. It was an unsigned letter that went to my members' homes, so I can't figure out who wrote it. Who authorized it? Did that direction come from City Hall? It'd be wonderful if you could get that information for me. He's going to try to tell you that they're going to hire their way out of it, and I can tell you they're not. We're losing more officers than we can hire and retain. And until they grasp the market aspects of that they're going to have to increase their offer and really increase their efforts to retain officers, we're just going to continue in the wrong direction.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Jim Unland. KGOA 10, 737 right now. Earlier this hour, we spoke with the president of the San Jose Police Officers Association about an email that was sent to command staff by the chief of police, and this has added to already tense negotiations between the city and the San Jose Police Department.
Now on the KGO Live line for his usual morning visit with us, the mayor of San Jose, Chuck Reed. Good morning, Chuck.
Morning, Jennifer. John?
Well,
hello.
So apparently this all started with a letter that was sent to police officers' homes. So we asked Jim Unland, the president of the union, what do you want us to ask Mayor Chuck Reed? And just take a listen. This is what he told us.
I am unable to find out who wrote the letter. It was an unsigned letter that went to my members' homes, so I can't figure out who wrote it. Who authorized it? Did that direction come from City Hall? It'd be wonderful if you could get that information for me.
Well... Do you know, Mr. Mayor?
Of course I know. Our union negotiators operate with the direction and the authority of the San Jose City Council. The entire council meets. We give them marching orders, and they go carry it out. That's the way it works in San Jose. So whatever they said was done with the authority of the City Council. That's our system.
Let's ask real quickly, just where are negotiations? Where do they stand right now? The union says the city has offered a 9% raise over 3 years or so, but the union wants a 9% raise right now. Is that pretty much sum it up?
No, that's probably not exactly accurate. We haven't actually been at the bargaining table with our police union since June when we went into arbitration at their insistence. They lost. So the contract for this year, if nothing happens, is a zero because that was the result of the arbitration award. However, the San Jose City Council is trying to restore some of the pay that our officers took in the form of pay cuts a few years ago. We have offered a 2.5% raise right now, a 2.5% raise next year. Those are general wage increases, and a 4% bonus next year. So that's 2.5%, 2.5%, and then a 4% bonus. So it adds to 9, but it's not a 9% general wage increase. So you can call it whatever you want, but it is an offer that's on the table. We set aside money in the budget process to do that. And we want our officers to know we're trying to restore some of the pay, and we appreciate their pay cuts. The union agreed to it, and the officers voted on it. The 10% pay cut saved 150 police officer jobs, and we appreciate that. But we know they're working hard. And we'd like to restore some of that pay, and that's what we're trying to do.
Now, I know over the weeks we've talked to you about your hiring that you have expected, but Mr. Unland claims that you can't hire your way out of this because there's no confidence in the San Jose Police Department and that there are other departments that are paying better and that that won't work.
Well, that's his characterization of the situation. That's his storyline. It's not exactly accurate. We do have lots of officers that want to work here. We have had thousands of people that have applied. We filled up academies, and we've got people in the academy. So we're hiring. Of course, we have to compete with other departments. We'd like to raise the pay of those folks that are getting out of the academy. That's why we've included them in the pay raise. We understand it's a competitive marketplace, and we're trying to restore some of the pay cuts that they took. We're appreciative of the fact that a lot of people want to work here. We have high standards, and not everybody's qualified, but we have a great set of folks that just became street ready. They're on the streets now, and another group of 50 or so that are in the academy, and another academy that will start pretty soon. So we're hiring, but we'd like to slow down our losses. We've lost a lot of good people through retirements and resignations. And we think restoring the pay cuts that they took is part of that, and that's why we're trying to do it. We're trying to give them money. We put it on the table. There are no strings attached to this. It's just 2.5% now, 2.5% next year, and a 4% bonus next year. We think the officers deserve it, and we're trying to give it to them.
Well, Mayor Reed, thanks for giving us your side. We wanted to make sure we got them both, and have a great weekend.